Hello everybody, this is Andrew here, okay, and I've got something here and is this something that I should be trusted with? I got this off Amazon Prime. No, just kidding. I actually got this off eBay, and you're probably wondering what it is, and all you streetlight collectors out there probably already know what it is. Okay, so this happens to be an AJ Ferguson Zodiac 2x F20T12 fluorescent streetlight batten. Okay, so this is a recent score that I got off eBay. I've actually been after one for a long time, and now I've finally got one. You might remember that I showed you the Watt Ray and the Pier lights, but this is the Zodiac. Okay, so this is the actual Ferguson Zodiac variant. Okay, so if you want, we'll take a closer look at this. Okay, so there's a good look at it there. Alright, so let's fire it up. Let's see if we can get some blinkage out of it. Oh, good. Let's do that again. Oh, very nice. Sometimes the T12 tubes don't want to blink, but these ones here appear to be. There we go. Yep, so this is the Zodiac, the AJ Ferguson. This one here is the top and side mounting version. There is also another version that I'm trying to get, which has rounded edges here and is top mounting only. Okay, but this one here is side and top mounting. And this fitting here, when I got it, it did need a bit of restoration. So what I had to do was I had to clean this chassis up, which was all corroded and all covered in crap. Okay, and the plate inside I had to clean up. And this diffuser, you might notice, it's actually not even excavated. It's actually still transparent, which is surprising because usually with a lot of these you tend to see that diffusers tend to be excavated from sunlight exposure, but not this one. Okay. So yeah, so this is good. I got this off eBay from a guy up in Bendigo. There was a lot of these. He actually had some other fittings. Okay, my sister's going to go up there and collect the rest for me, and I'll have an update on them. Okay, and I'll probably restore them and sell the ones that I don't want to the streetlight collectors. Okay, but yeah, this is the Zodiac, the AJ Ferguson. Okay, this is the real deal. Okay, so this particular fitting here actually dates back to I think it was 1970 or so this particular design came out, because the one with the rounded edges was a top mounting. I do believe that was the first generation of this particular batten, and this one here is obviously the next generation. So yeah, so that's when side mounting became more common over time, because back in the old days the street lights used to be all top mounting. Okay, you know, like the old incandescent ones. Okay. So that's what, if you take a look on the top of the batten, you can see it's got these two covers here. This one here is for where the top mounting arm goes in, because there's a threaded insert under here that the top arm screws into, and then you've got this one for a photocell. Okay, this one does not have a photocell, so that's why, if it did have a photocell, there'd be a little plastic dome that sits on top. Okay, and that's where the photocell would go. Right here we have the side mounting entry, which is here, and that's where a lot of these are mounted from, is from the side. Okay, now that's this design technically. I've seen them top mounted. Okay, and here's this end of it. Now this fitting here is completely different to the pier lights, as it doesn't have those ramped edges on it. This one here is all smooth. If you take a look at it, it's all completely different. Okay, and here's the diffuser. Okay, it's one of those types, and you can see it's transparent. You can actually see the tubes inside. Alright, so we will take this apart and we'll try firing it up with some different types of tubes. The tubes that I have in here right now are the F20T12, because that's the original configuration of this batten. Let me just get a drink here. Cordial. And I'm chewing ice cubes. Alright, so this is the batten here. We'll take a close look at this, and we'll even open it up and take a look inside. Okay. So let's unplug this. Alright, and I'm going to open it up. To open it up is easy. You just undo these two little latching devices here. Okay, and the diffuser will release. Okay, if I undo them enough. Okay, so this part here will swing out and the diffuser will come off if it wants to. Oh no, that's the retained end. Yeah, I've actually put the diffuser on the wrong way. Yep, so the diffuser here will come off like that. Okay, so here's our diffuser here. As you can see, you can actually see through it. compared to a lot of other ones. If you take a look on here, it says AJ Ferguson Zodiac on there, as you can see, AJ Ferguson Zodiac. Okay, so that's the diffuser. And speaking of which, I'll just get another fitting out to show you how good it is. Here I have a street LED, which this is a more modern street light fitting. If you can take a look at these diffusers, you can see they're almost in good, both transparent. You can see through them, okay, which is quite good, unlike most of the other fittings where the diffusers have excavated. So that's the street LED. That's a more modern fitting. Okay, but we're just talking about the Zodiac. Now this plate here will kind of fall in the chassis because there's nothing really holding it in place. Alright, so I'll take these tubes out. Okay, just clean up, there's cords everywhere, so we'll take these out. Okay. Another thing you can run in this, you can run T8 tubes. I just happen to have some here. These are some F18 T8s. You can run these because these will run in the Zodiac too. I've seen them with these. You can use these in it. You can use these two. I think there's also combinations where you can have one T12 and one of these together. I've seen that, a T8 and T12 combination, which is quite interesting really for something like this. Okay, especially something that's really old. And of course nowadays in 2020, you can also run a couple of these. Okay, I just happen to have some. These are LED tubes. Okay, and we'll run them too, just to show you the versatility of this old thing. Okay, so from 1970, I think, or maybe the late 60s, all the way up till probably the late 80s, this was the category P street lights. So this joined up. You had the Watt Rays, you had the Raymonds, you had the Pier lights. Okay, that joined up with this. Okay, with a similar design. Okay, but this is the Ferguson Zodiac, which I think was the very first, and then some other companies started making similar fittings. Alright, so we'll take this plate out. To do that, you just pull this latching device back, okay, and the plate will come out. Alright, now we can unplug this. Alright, so here's our plate right here. Alright, if you take a look, I have restored this. Okay, it was filthy, and I did have to restore it. Another thing about this, it was bent a bit, so I have since panel beated it back into shape. Okay, so this is your plate here. You might notice the shape. As you can see, the shape is a lot different to the... Okay. Right. Sorry, my mum just needed something, but yeah, so you can take a look at these ends here. They're pretty cool. Okay, and of course these are not the original ballasts. Okay, the original ballast was one big black ballast. Apparently that ballast I couldn't reuse it. I had to replace it. Okay, so I'm busy. Can you wait 10 minutes? Oh. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. My mum's just wanted me for something. Just ignore that. You can fast forward that part. But yeah, we got the two ballasts that I had to put in here to replace the old one. Okay, we have a terminal block here. Okay, and this is my big one. Okay, I went with the big one just because it's easier to get these in. We have the starter receptacles. Once again, these are not original. These are HPMs. HPMs. Here, let me turn some more lights on so you can see that better. There you go. These are HPM 390, as you can see there. Okay, those are what this type of fitting uses. Okay, it sure is good that you can get them. And the lamp holders this uses are these button type. Okay, these are the button type lamp holders. These are not original. Okay, the original ones were no good, so I had to replace them. These are the HPM 382s. Okay, and it sure is good that HPM make these. Okay, so for all the people who have any of these battens, you can get new lamp holders for it. Okay, so that's basically it, and all the wiring on this is all brand new. Okay, I replaced all the wiring, so I held it on with this 4 zip ties, and of course the plate just unplugs from the chassis, which is good. Okay, so it's good that you can separate the actual plate from the actual chassis. Now I'll show you the chassis. So here's the chassis right here. Okay, as you can see, we got this part here which holds the plate shut. Now there is nothing to really sit the plate on, so it is bound to sink inside. Okay, inside here you can see this is where the photo cell would stick out, and this is where your top threading arm would go through. Okay, I've got another terminal block here which connects the main lead to this, and then you plug the plate in. Okay, and of course we got this that the plate locks onto, and of course this is your little latching device that holds the diffuser on. So pretty good, and I did have to replace this seal around here, so it's just a rubber seal. Okay, now I did used to use silicone, but I stopped doing that because it was not too good. It was actually quite messy, so I went with this because it's a lot cleaner. Okay, and I don't have to wait for it to dry. All right, so we'll put this back together and we'll fire up some different tubes. So since I got the fluorescent starters in here still, we'll fire it up with the T8 tubes just to show you that it will run those. So we just plug this in. Okay, now put the plate back in. Now the plate is going to sink into the body because there is nothing to hold it really. Okay, but considering that when this is mounted, it's actually mounted, you know, just like this, you know, like that, so the plate will stay down. Alright, so that's that. Alright, so we'll stick in the T8 tubes and we'll fire it up with these. Now these tend to be a little bit more blinky than the T12s. So I've got two ones, I've got a Phillips Alto here, so I'll stick him in. Okay, so you just simply slide it in. Okay, now we've got this one here, which is a Polylux, made by General Electric. And we'll stick this in, and we'll fire it up with this too. If it will go in. Sorry. Okay, we've got him in. And we'll put the diffuser on, and this time I'll put the retained end on the correct side of the fitting. So the retained end I like to have on this side. Okay, just because it's more easier. Okay, we'll close this back up. We'll just stand this up so we can get this to close up. And of course, to lock the diffuser on, you just tighten up the latching devices. Okay, and be certain that the diffuser is centered. You don't want it to be too far forward or too far back. Make sure it's centered, because that's more tidier that way. Okay, so we'll tighten that up. Alright. So we'll plug it back in. Alright. So this is the T8 ones. Okay, it looks a lot different with T8, so let's fire it up with these. There we go, we got some more blinkage out of those that time. Let's do that again. Awesome. Let's do it again. Beautiful. Sweet. That's awesome. And that's it. So that's pretty cool. We got some blinkage. So for some reason the T12s, they just don't want to blink. I don't know why. If any of you streetlight collectors out there know, just leave a comment and tell me why they don't blink so much. I don't know if it's the ballasts or just the way the tubes are. Okay, but these T8 ones, we're getting a bit of blinkage out of them. Alright? So that's the T8 ones. Alright, now what I'm going to do is put in LEDs. Okay, just to show you that you can run LED tubes in this. Okay? And that's obviously what a lot of people are doing with these nowadays. If you see these around still, you'll find that they've got LED tubes in them. Okay, which doesn't bother me. Okay, but first I have to take these out. And we also got to put in some LED tube starters. I just happen to have my starters in this container. I keep the LEDs on this side and the fluorescents on this side, so I'll keep them in separate compartments so that way I know what's what. So I'll open this up. Yes, and he's going to play around. Take these out. And we'll put in a couple of these LED starters. These are HRC series starters made by SAL. The tubes I'm going to be putting in are two SAL neutral light 9-watt LED tubes. So we're going to fire up 9-watt LED tubes in this thing, just to show you the versatility of it, okay, and just to show you what you can do with this old baby, okay. So here's the LEDs that we're going to be putting in. A couple of these SAL ones, if you can see the stamping on that. It's an SAL 9-watt neutral white. Okay, you can also run cool white and you can put cool white in if you want, and you can also put in warm white. I don't have any warm white. Okay. Well, my local electrical store doesn't. They only had neutral white and cool white for some reason. They don't have warm. It would be nice to have some warm white LED tubes, but it doesn't matter. These would work just fine. close this back up, stand him up so the plate will actually sit firm. Put the cover back in place. Okay, now this type of fitting here, compared to modern weatherproof fittings, you might think that this is, but this is probably one of the very first weatherproof battens that I think Australia had, to be perfectly honest. Okay, if you were to compare it to a more modern weatherproof batten like those two Davis battens, or those Legrand battens, or those Thomas and Betts ones, you'll see how what the differences are between this old thing and those. Alright. Alright. So we've got LEDs in here now, and we're going to fire these up. Okay, now the difference between these and the fluorescents is that LED is more of a newer technology. Okay. Now these will not blink. They're just going to turn on straight away because they are LED. Okay. So, but at least they're brighter. Let's turn them on. Awesome. So now that's brighter. Okay. So 2 by 9 watt. Probably not as bright as the LED panel on the street LED, but probably as close. But probably it's close. I should probably do a comparison between this and the street LED. But yeah, this is what it looks like running LED tubes. Okay. Now I should mention, when you are running LED tubes, you have to be you need to know which way you're going to put them in, because LED tubes with the length on this side here, you've got these white strips that the LEDs are mounted on. If I turn it on, it will still put out light on this side, but it won't really work as effective. So what you want to do is you want to take one of these out and rotate it, and just have one tube facing this way and the other one facing that way, so it will work effectively. But if you're going to be using it just for one way, that's what you can do. Okay, you can probably put like a black cover in the side here to block the light. And there's the side view. So that's what it looks like with LEDs. Okay, that just shows how nice that is. And that's pretty cool, running LED tubes. Okay, and it kind of turns this into a modern day light, don't it? Okay, running LEDs. Okay, and I did repaint this chassis, as you can see. I painted this grey colour because it matches the street LED. Alright, so we'll turn that on again. Now once again, there is no blinking because there is LED tubes. You don't get blinkage out of these. Okay, but you do get good light output though. Okay, and this is actually brighter than the fluorescent tubes, to be perfectly honest. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So that's an AJ Ferguson Zodiac 2 by F20T12 or F18T8 or 9 watt LED street light batten. Give you another look at it. Okay, looking nice. Okay, now there is also the Daylight Adelaide, which is the Category V variant of this. It's actually a lot longer. Okay, I am trying to get one of them. I will hopefully get one. Okay, and I'll show you that. Okay, I've got to have one of them. Okay, after experimenting with this thing, and I hopefully will get one with the rounded edges as well. We'll do a little video on that too. But this is just the probably the second generation. Okay, and it's a very nice batten, very good collector's item. I like it. Okay, and I'm going to have a lot of fun with this and enjoy it. Okay, so that is my AJ Ferguson Zodiac 2 by fluorescent batten. Hope you enjoyed, and that'll be it.